Hey guys, Alicia here. This is another video about how to dial in your audience statistics and understand what analytics is telling you about your audience. Alright, right now we're going to look at new versus returning and see what you can know about your new visitors versus your returning visitors. Now, the newer you are with your blog, the more you're going to have a lot of new users compared to returning visitors. One of your goals that you should just track, a metric that you should look at, is probably just simply getting, increasing the percentage of return visitors so that you've got more and more people who are coming back to your site. Here, this is my mom blog from last summer. We're looking at July through November, so I was very new and I had some returning visitors. I had some, readers that were starting to really follow, but I also had a lot of new visitors. So right now I'm on the audience overview, and that already shows me that I had 88% were new visitors. I'm gonna scroll down here to behavior and click on new versus returning, and that is gonna give me some interesting. So that's going to give me these numbers: new visitors, how many sessions. So new visitors had 1,000 sessions, returning visitors had 500. So, which that makes sense, the returning people read a lot more pages than the new people. Here, you can see right here, the new visitors, 1.2 pages per session, and the returning visitors were 3 pages a session. Here's the big thing, and you're probably going to find this too. I'm curious. If you would like to share, please comment below and tell me what insight you get from your new visitors and returning visitors. How many pages are they viewing? My new visitors were 1.2 pages, so they were viewing 1 page, maybe 2. And then returning visitors were viewing basically 3 pages on average, which makes sense. And then really big here, average session duration, 36 seconds for new visitors, and then 5 minutes for returning. Now, I'm going to do a whole separate video about what sessions and bounce rate and page per sessions and average session duration, what those numbers really mean, how close they are to technically what you might assume that they would mean. But what you can always bank on is that you can compare relative to each other if one number is bigger than another. Because some sessions might get counted as 0. Anyways, I'll get into that. But just know that these people spent 5 times as long as those people on my site. And that is who you want to find. Really, really, really. Yes, we always want more page views. Page views is a useful thing. But part of my mission here is to help you understand that page views is so not the be-all, end-all goal for you, for your business. I hope that's liberating. Page views when you're first starting out, now that I'm rebranding, I'm starting out again. It is huge. It is a goal. It is seriously something that you want to focus on because you need exposure. You want to become known. First things first, you niche down, and then if you've figured out what you want to do, then you re-niche and you rebrand, as lots of us do. But you figure out what you want to do. You figure out your niche. You figure out what you want people to be finding you for, and then that is the main thing, you want to be found. And so you're putting out content regularly, you're building your email list, you're getting out into whatever platforms, wherever you think that your ideal reader is on, and you're bringing them in. And so it is a lot about page views at a certain point, but I think very early on it's important to establish your business strategy. And if you're going to have affiliate links, if you're going to have ads, however you're going to monetize, it's good to incorporate that early on so you build that expectation with your readers. But at the same time, I just want to say page views is not everything, and ad revenue is not everything. There are so many other ways to make money from your blog. Please look at your phone on mobile and make sure that your ads don't keep people from being able to share your content, from being able to easily see enough of your phone to be able to read your email opt-in, offer, and to think about it and be like, yeah, I want to do that. Enough space on the phone for them to be able to read your content if they're on their phone. So you really want to think about the new visitors, what their experience is, how many of them they are, what their behavior is, and then think about for the returning visitors, you know, they're the ones that you want to serve. You want to see, let me do secondary dimension and put in destination page. This should be fun. Interesting. Okay, super cool. I love secondary dimensions for everything. Destination page is a super cool way to bring in the content to the behavior, right? So up here, audience, this is the characteristics, this is who the people are and what you know about them. Things like what device are they on, where do they live, you know, if you're interested in location, are they new, are they returning, you know, what device are they on. But then the acquisition is where do they come from, and then the behavior is like what content they're looking at. So by doing a secondary dimension for a destination page, now I can see, oh, new people, homepage makes sense, returning people homepage makes sense. But then for the new visitor, I can see, oh, this is the content that the new people, you know, are viewing the most. And if I wanted to see more results, I could come down here and be like, just give me 50, I want to see this list. And down here I've got the returning visitors. Okay, so some of the same content. So you can quickly dial in these two different dimensions, these two different ways. So you've got the new versus returning visitor, and then you've got the destination page, and you can see, you know, the top, you know, 8 results here. It's mostly new visitors on these pages, plus returning people who are starting at the home page, which makes sense. If people know about your blog or following it, if they've bookmarked it, they're potentially, you know, they're typing in, you know, your homepage, or Google's even like pre-filling in the URL, right? Like they start to type it in, like, yes, I want to go see her blog. Oh, click on the blog. You know, what's the newest article that she's writing? All right. So new versus returning, that can tell you a lot. Hey, let's click on site comparison with the destination page. Yeah, interesting. You can always, once you get familiar with this, it's super fun to start playing around with different dimensions and the filters over here and just seeing. Real quick, I just want to look at these other ones that are under behavior. So new versus returning, and then frequency is, okay, so this shows you how many sessions people did. A lot of people have only done 1 or 2 sessions, but then 3, 4, 5. So you've there are a couple different tools in here as you dial into understanding your returning visitors. There are some different tools that you can use to help you see, you know, what they're doing when they come back and how much they're coming back to your site. Oh, and then related here is the seconds, and so how many people. So, and this is what we all have this, you know, at first, and these are just other metrics that are, this is my goal, to increase your awareness of these other metrics that can help you dial in on the quality of your traffic, and not just look at bulk page views, and not just look at like this many page views get into this ad network. A much better way to build your business is to be thinking about your email list and your quality, you know, traffic, your people who are engaging, they're commenting, they're subscribing, they're viewing several pages, they're on your site longer. So, you know, one goal could be to get more of these people to be on your site for, you know, 30 seconds instead of 10 seconds. The longer that, you know, and there are a lot of ways to do that. One of my favorites that's easiest to start with is just as you're getting, when you go in and you look at your content, well, I always end up finding things to talk about and I make these videos too long. Okay, I'll do this in another video, but I'm just going to say, obviously, if you know, when you look and you see where most of your content, which content your people are reading the most, you can start linking those to each other. And if you see a certain, you know, post is something that a lot of people is resonating with them and they're reading it and sharing it, then write some similar content add those as post 2 and then link them all to each other. You want to get people kind of like they're on YouTube and they just like keep reading and they see, you know, on the side like, oh, that related topic sounds interesting, right? And they just keep watching. You want them to binge read your post, your blog, right? You want them to be reading and then you mention something interesting and it's highlighted and so they know, you know, it's like a link and they like click open new tab like, oh, I want to read that one too, but then they keep reading and they go and read that one next, and then at the end of the article, it has this interesting segue that's like really related content. Oh yeah, well, because I'm interested in this, now I want to know what you have to say about this related thing. So that's one of the best strategies, to just keep them reading, increase your engagement. Ideally, if somebody finds you on Pinterest or Google, or they click on something from Facebook and they read one post, ideally you want to get them reading 2 or 3 or immediately subscribing, so that as they get that exposure, you're continuing to get back in front of them. And then as you increase your return visitors, your percentage there, then you can look at your return visitors, the kinds of content that's resonating with them. So you look at the content that is bringing the new people, the content that's resonating with the return visitors, and then you kind of gauge, you know, what is my goal, how much traffic do I have so far, how much engagement am I getting, and you can balance doing more content that might bring more people, or more keywords that might just show up that get people to the top of your funnel, and then also more content and things that you can do in your business to serve the people that are already engaged, that are coming back regularly to your site. All right. I hope that was helpful. If it was, please subscribe below to my YouTube channel. I will let you, once I have my email up, which will be soon, there will be a link below to that as well. Thank you, and until next time, be blessed.